it's Reija and welcome to another video. Today I am going to be sharing with you my April wrap-up, the novels edition. If you missed all of my manga reading in April, I will have that video linked up in the cards so you can check all the other things that I read in April. But without further ado, let's talk about books. The first book that I read in April was The Ice Dragon by George R.R. Martin, and I happened to notice that my copy actually had this art on the reverse side of the dust jacket, so now I have it like this. And I am surprised to say that I actually enjoyed it. I don't know what it is, but aside from A Song of Ice and Fire, I don't actually expect myself to enjoy a lot of Martin's books. And this was written in the 80s, so that goes kind of double for his older work. But I was actually really pleasantly surprised by this. It's nothing spectacular or groundbreaking. It's a very simple story about a girl who is born in the dead of winter and kind of carries winter's cold within herself. And she befriends this ice dragon, and most people think that ice dragons are sort of mythical, or that they are kind of harbingers of winter and they can't be approached by humans, but this girl befriends an ice dragon. But because she's carrying this winter's chill inside of herself, she can never really feel close to other people or feel emotional connections. And this story is basically all about her sort of breaking away from that ice inside her and trying to connect with her family and trying to connect with her family during wartime. So it's a very simple sort of fairy tale, and it was very richly illustrated. Almost every single page has these blue-toned illustrations that really lend themselves to soaking you in that atmosphere. So it kind of reads like those olden time fairy tales. Think of Hans Christian Andersen, for example. I really enjoyed it. It was a short, quick read, and I was very surprised by it, so I gave it 4 stars. Next thing I read was Immortal Souls, Power and Magic, the Queer Witch Comic Anthology series, edited by Jomet Gill. And this was a bit of a mixed bag, as usually most anthologies are. My biggest pet peeve was that the stories were so short. All of the stories were very short, and unfortunately that means that the artists and authors who are more used to working in a very short page span were able to put a lot more impact and characterization effort into the stories, whereas those artists who clearly were probably this was probably their first official publication, they didn't have that same confidence with working in a very short format. So some of the stories felt a little bit lacking because of that. Also, some of the art was not my cup of tea. There are a few artists here who I really like and I want to keep on continuing on to check out their work and support them, but a few others I was like, okay, this is just aesthetically not my thing. But overall I really enjoyed it. This is all about witchy, queer stories, mostly sapphic stories, and all of them are created by either Asian, Black, or Indigenous creators. So yeah, I was happy to read it, but overall I gave it 3 stars. It was kind of middle of the road for me. And the final thing that I read in April was Oliver Sacks's The Man Who Mistook His Wife for a Hat. And I actually DNF'd this at about 35%. This was originally published in the 80s, around 85, I think, and it shows in the language this has some really outdated terminology and outdated ways in which the author describes patients, which I didn't really gel with. I felt like the patients in question were treated more like curios instead of actual human beings. The author also uses a lot of medical jargon throughout, so I was constantly having to Google phrases and Google terminology in order to be sure that I was understanding things correctly. And that was my other problem with this, was the fact that this book doesn't really know whether it wants to be for the layperson, for the uneducated, like medically uneducated layperson, or if it wants to be a full-on medical like dissertation or a paper. And that sort of lack of purpose and lack of commitment to an audience was kind of putting me off. So I ended up not really enjoying it, so I gave up on it after the first part. And there you have it. Those were all of the things that I read in the month of April, as well as all the manga, which you could see in my other video. And tell me in the comments, what did you think? How was your reading month in April? And any DNFs that I should know about? And leave me a hat emoji down in the comments so that I know that you were here. And I will see you in another video very soon. Bye bye!